Have a good day, everyone. Today, we are going to discuss one of the important topics in science, that is common misinterpreted or misused words in science. And this is one of the very important topics that we have to know whenever we are going to do some research, and it will be very helpful to you, I hope. So let us go into the topic. So the first one, actually, we are going to discuss about the scientific method, because in most of the cases, in the common parlance, we have this confusion about the scientific method, observation, inference, facts, hypothesis, theory, and law. All will be mixed together and they are treated as the same way. But actually, there is a difference between each and every terminologies that we use in science. So first one, we're going to see about the scientific method. It is nothing but a process in which data about the problem is collected and then organized, and then it is finally interpreted. So it's a full mechanism of the process in which we take some problem of interest and we collect the data, and then we are organizing according to the plan, and then we finally interpret that. This is a whole process is called a scientific method. And then and we have a very important thing called observation, because this observation plays a major role in scientific method. That is why it is called as a main or central element of the scientific method. And it is nothing but the information or the data that we get from our senses. And this part is called reception, because we are receiving a data about the world around us with help of our senses. That is why it is a reception process. And then we have something called recording the data. So the recording the information of the data using various scientific tools and instruments, it is also the part of the observation. And that is why it plays a main core of a scientific method. And then whenever we are carrying out some experiment or doing with some scientific method, we have something called inference. What we inference? The idea or the final conclusion that we get from the evidence, and from reasoning, we call it as inference. And it is nothing but the presumption that we make about the observation that is already made. And this all three are the major part of the experiment that we do, especially in the experimental science or any part of the experiment methods. And we have something called fact. So we all might be knowing what is the science facts, and we always see like to see in the news or something else. And in facts is nothing but we can see it is a indisputable observation of the natural phenomena. It is a truth, and this truth talks about the natural phenomena, and that will be obtained through the observation. That is why it's an indisputable observation of the natural phenomenon. And next one, we have important thing called a hypothesis, and the plural form we call it as hypothesis. And generally hypothesis has been confused with the theory, and many times we use in hypothetical questions like that. So we will see what is hypothesis. It is nothing but a proposed explanation for the natural phenomena, which will lead to the further study or investigation, because this hypothesis is going to be a starting point for the further investigation or the further study. Or you can tell this is an idea that we can test further and with so many observations. It means this hypothesis, that the idea that we can test with the further observations or the further evidences. And we have a common confusion, or we can say that the difference between theory and the law. What is theory? Because theory is actually plays a major role in science in various aspects, and theory is nothing but a well-constructed explanation that is acquired through scientific method, and it has been tested many times. That is repeatedly tested and confirmed through the observation and with various evidences and so many experimentations. That makes a part of the theory. And a law, it's nothing but a statement that is based on repeated experimental observations and that describes some natural phenomena. And both are having a major role in science, and theory and law have some difference between them. What is that? Is this theory explains why things happen or how things happen. For example, if you take a theory of gravity, it will explain very successfully that why things are falling to the ground and how things are falling to the ground. And we come to this law of gravity that will tell you what happens if you throw some stone out of the window, what happens, whether it will fall to the ground or not. It will explain by the scientific law. Hope you can understand it very clearly. These are the common parameters: scientific method, observation, inference, fact, hypothesis, theory, and the law.